Medical for having us here. Thank you, Candace and Angelica, and all the hard work. I'm not going to talk too much, but I do want to say that our Leadership Northwest Oklahoma class is still open. We're going to extend it until the 24th. If there's anybody in here, I've got a couple of applications to fill out. Right now we're about 10 people, and we would like 6 more. So all don't run up here too fast, but I'd really appreciate it if you guys would, if there's anybody or if you know of somebody that would like to do it. So I'll just go ahead and turn it over to Candace.
Good morning. Great turnout. Thank you guys for coming. So I have a few exciting things to share with you. One, over the last year, we've been working on updating our electronic health record. We were on Meditech 6.0 since about 2012, I think, is when we implemented that. And we upgraded to Expanse, which is another Meditech product, but a whole different platform, new platform. We're pretty excited about that. The work that goes into that is incredibly laborious, and I'm surprised that staff didn't just wave by, see you later. It's very labor intensive. They've done a great job getting us to this point. I know it's no secret that we've struggled with our billing, and that is the reason that we decided to upgrade our EHR, because in the setup of the last one, there were just some things that obviously were not working correctly. We had bills that were going to the great unknown that we couldn't even see. So it was a lot of the billing issues that we were experiencing. Instead of spending, we'd gotten a quote, instead of spending $300,000 plus on trying to fix that system that was 10 years old, 11 years old, we decided to upgrade. And I think it was a great choice. In fact, the team at Meditech said that the billing side of our implementation was one of the smoothest implementations they've had. So, fingers crossed. Hopefully this is going to help us with our revenue cycle management. Anyway, so that went well. It also brings our clinics onto the same platform as our hospital, and so that's pretty exciting because they can see your information across all areas. If you visit the ER, the urgent care, the clinic, any of that, we can see your information, so that's helpful as well. Patient Connect should have started yesterday, day before yesterday, receiving patient notifications when you have an appointment coming up. So that's been brought online. Soon we will bring on for the ability for other providers to see when you have visited one of our services, they will be able to see that information as well. So the connectivity capabilities of this EHR, are going to be really nice. So we're getting there. It's a work in progress. Implementation date was July 1st, and we expect to be working on the system and tweaking it for many months to come. For finding all those little bugs that we need to work out and to be expected. So, any questions on the EHR that I can answer? All right, next thing, we have started an orthopedic surgeon recently. Dr. Tupper, Joel Tupper, comes to us from Edmond. Lots of experience. He's one of those rare finds that we call it cradle to grave. He actually can do pediatrics and adults, and we don't find that often, so we're pretty excited about that. He has a heart for serving, and he does missionary work. And this was just one of the things that spoke to him that he wanted to. Come on in. There's some seats up here if you want to sit down. You're not going to bother me. Just walk around. So we're excited to have Dr. Tupper. We have Dr. Daniels, a general surgeon. We also have Dr. Gregg, another general surgeon that typically does our endoscopy work. So We're excited to expand our footprint in that area. Honestly, trying to find or services that meet the needs of the community, and find revenue streams that will continue to support the hospital. So that's what we're looking at there. Another exciting thing, we have Jerry Brazil in our urgent care. You might have noticed that we changed our urgent care hours, tweaked those a little bit. We ended up hiring Jerry Brazil. He's recently been at Fairview. He lives in Enid. Has 6 boys that keep him busy. Jerry's got lots of experience. I think he's got 10 or so years of experience in urgent care, primary care, ER. He was actively working those shifts in the emergency room at Fairview, so very comfortable with those higher levels of care as well. So we're pretty excited to bring him on. We tweaked our urgent care hours for financial reasons, just trying to be good stewards of the money that we have, and not seeing very many patients per hour per day in the urgent care. We felt like we had room in our primary care space to save some appointments in those hours in the morning, those 3 hours that we cut down in the urgent care. We saved space in our primary care areas, which downtown and the West End Clinic, or downtown and the West End Clinic. You can be seen there before 10 o'clock, and then we run urgent care Monday through Saturday now from 10 to 6. So hopefully that'll meet the need. If it does not, we'll go back and figure out what we can do better to do that. So currently that's what we're doing. Let me see, I think I have one more thing to share with you. Oh, most exciting thing, I think Adam's here. Yes, he is. Adam, you can come up and we can kind of talk about this together if there's questions, or.
Oh, there you go.
I don't want to steal Adam's thunder. I'll let Adam talk about this. So we've been keeping a big secret for a while. We've been working on this since, I looked back, January. Is that correct?
Seems like that.
So why don't you go ahead and we'll talk about that.
All right. So I hadn't planned on speaking.
That's all right.
But
you've done this.
We've decided to come together for the longevity and sustainability of our long-term care in Alva, and we will be taking over the convalescent home as the state approves. It's a two-step process. One should be relatively quick, and we're looking October 1st now, somewhere between September and October, of us taking over management. And then we will be running 2 facilities for a while, anywhere from 4 to 6 months, and then we'll take possession of the building and continue to. There's a few things we want to fix, and if we do it now, we have to follow the nice rules of the state, competitive bidding, and all that stuff. And if we wait, it might be just as quick, and we follow private business practices, which I don't find people that want to do our job and can do it well. So we're going to hopefully be there by full-time by this time next year. Hopefully before that, because it might go crazy in between.
We're not holding our breath. We're moving as quickly as we can to get this done, but there's just a lot of hoops that we have to jump through with the state to do it the way that it has to be done. So yeah. We're working together, though. They have staffed up with staff and have been able to help us when we are short-staffed, so that's been nice.
We feel comfortable that we will be able to move forward and have an excellent facility for our community for the future.
We had just finished, a little props to Kelly, we had just finished the nursing home survey in the midst of all of this, and we're going to call it zero deficiencies. There was one minor reporting, a report that our system would not produce, that he had to take a little slap on the hand, but no care issues, zero deficiencies for a nursing home is a hard to achieve, and so we're very proud that they were able to do that. The reason we're doing this is it's best for the hospital. and best for the community to have a nursing home in the community to come. It's a volume issue. There's just not enough for both of us to exist and carry the overhead that we carry. And so Adam approached us in January and said, can we sit down and talk about this? And collectively with the board, we felt like that was the right decision for Shore Medical Center and for the community. So we're excited about the future and what's to come.
I see great things. Of course, we got to see great things, or why are we going to do this?
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. Does anybody have any questions for me? Angelica, Kelly, do you either one of you have anything? All right, I think I'm going to turn it over to Bo or to...
I better go first.
Oh, look at him jump up here. Public speaking, do it.
That's right, that's right. Thank you, Candace. Thank you, Jody, for having us here today to share about our school system. Alva's very lucky to have Northwest Technology Center, our university. Great leadership. Really appreciate Darren and Bo. They do a great job. Dr. Bell, we spend a lot of time on the phone during snow days and what we're going to do, so really appreciate him as well. It has been a good start to the year, a little bumpy with our first day, or no, I guess it was the third day, with some security issues that we had, but we were able to get through that and learn some things from it. We are up in our enrollment, about 3 students. Enrollment's changed a lot in public education. It won't stabilize for another couple of weeks. The tax credit for homeschool students and the tax credit for private school families has changed really enrollment. We see a lot of transfers in and out, and it's just a lot different than it used to be. So we are up at this point. Student programs are in full swing, which is exciting. When I got into administration, I didn't realize how little involvement with kids you sometimes have, especially superintendent. That's the part I miss. And so it's really exciting to go see our student activities from our livestock judging team. We've got softball students in Purcell playing. We've got a football scrimmage tonight at Ranger Field. We will open in Purcell next week with our football team. So a lot of exciting things happening. We have 167 employees. We have increased the number of employees since COVID. COVID was kind of a financially difficult time for the district. We saw our revenue decrease quite a bit, so we did some absorption. But we are moving back up to our normal numbers, and so I'm excited about that. Before I go any further, I want to introduce my security team back here. Heather Hall. Heather Hall is our new activity fund custodian. She began a couple of months ago. Absolutely wonderful. Great spirit about her, very welcoming, and just so thankful for the job she does. Our activity accounts, gosh, we have so many programs and money that comes through that, and she just does a great job handling that, working with all of our coaches and sponsors and making sure that our students have what they need. Myra Nettles is our HR payroll. Myra is so extremely talented, deals with so many different things. I mentioned payroll and HR, workers' comp, you name it. 167 employees, it's a lot of folks. It's a lot of folks that sometimes aren't happy, and she does it she deals with all of that with a tremendous amount of grace, and very thankful for her. And then finally, the de facto superintendent, Terry Owen. Terry's one of the most talented people I've ever been around. She is so smart. She is our encumbrance clerk, work minute clerk. She knows policy. She knows school law. She is a tremendous asset to this district. And a lot of times people don't realize what these 3 do to make our district happen, because they may not be in those roles that you see in day-to-day interaction with kids. We couldn't have school without them. And so very thankful for them, and very thankful that they are very courageous and are able to tell me very poor decision, sometimes good decisions. So very thankful for them and get to work with them every day. We have done a few things over the last couple of years with our strategic plan. We're very excited about the accomplishments that we've made there. We continue to try to make improvements with our sites, and That is always a very difficult process. We have met over the last year with multiple stakeholder committees. We've surveyed our teachers and tried to get an idea of where we need to go in the future with our facilities. And so we are still in the process of that. I'll just let this group know Lincoln has some real structural issues. We held a board meeting there, did a tour, put some pictures in the newspaper. We also had community members come and tour those buildings. And so we're doing an analysis of Lincoln and trying to figure out what would it take to mitigate the structural issues that we have there. And then if we can't mitigate those in a cost-effective way, how do we move forward for those 4th and 5th grade students? And so lots of different thoughts and ideas. Adding classrooms to Washington and Longfellow. We believe that those buildings are in great locations and structurally very sound. Of course, there's always discussions about elementary school. And so a lot of things out there that we're going to keep moving towards with the collaboration of our stakeholders and our teachers, for sure. So very excited about this school year. Glad to get started and to see kids and teachers back in our building. We are excited. We have a lot of good things in front of us. So any questions for me? Okay. You two old guys want to
Go ahead. She just stood up over in the corner. Tim echoed about the 3 arms of education in the Alva community, and we do work very well together. I echo his comments and appreciate our relationship with the college and, of course, with the high school. Many may know, may not know, but at the Tech Center we serve high school, predominantly juniors and seniors. We do have a few sophomores, and then we have adults. And so in our full-time career programs, we'll have high school students and we'll have adults that are returning for career advancement or career training. And so we see that as a great opportunity. Lots of times our adult students help bring in some maturity and help our high school students kind of focus on maybe where they want to be in a career when they finish. Full-time programs, we kicked back off last Wednesday on August the 9th. Enrollment district-wide is up about 13%. And so we see good numbers again and are thankful for the enrollment and the kids that are looking to find some career training that way. Other arms of our education that you may know about or maybe even experience those services. So our full-time programs, and I got Charlotte Hadwiger here with me today, who's our business and industry program director, but we also do adult education programs, and so if you haven't taken advantage of one of those classes, it could be computer classes, could be some educational things, or a stained glass course coming up. And then we also do customized industry training for the workforce. So if a company has a local specific need, we are able to set up training and do things for them. Plus a lot of safety training. So as you guys know, one of our largest or biggest assets in our businesses are our workers. And so we want to see those people come to work and we want to see them go home safely. And so a lot of compliance, a lot of workers' comp type training to help lower rates. And so our safety training is another big arm of what we do at the Career Tech School. Security, we talked a little bit about security. The Career Tech School, security is an interesting animal for us to take by the horns. And what I mean by that is we have our high school students and our full-time programs, but we also have the community. If you've been out to the Career Tech School since COVID, you'll find fewer entrances that are open. We've reduced the number of entrances that we reopened. There are 2 primary entrances. And then, as you know, that with the community events, it's hard just to lock the front door and let you in one at a time. And so we're looking at different strategies and trying to make our facility more secure. We're going to be doing some access control, so where you may have seen the electronic access, where you have the key cards and the fobs and things like that to help us manage our entrances even greater. We went through a security audit a year ago and are trying to address those. If you've been out to the Alva campus lately, you've seen we changed some directional flows and one-way traffic and some parking where we manage some of those type of things. And so school security, whether it's at the high school or college or at the Career Tech School, continues to be a primary focus, and there's not a one-size-fits-all approach. And so you as customers and our schools as customers, we're trying to manage that to serve all of those entities. And so if you're out there, it's kind of like I told the staff in my back to school letter. Some of them they don't notice, some of them that they'll be okay with, and then there's some of them they just won't like, and that's just the nature of how we see security changing. I didn't do quite as well as Tim. I had a few notes here. Really, our school year is off to a great start. Kids are, when you get to high school age kids, you know, half of them are excited to be at school, half of them are excited to see their friends, and so that's just how the nature of that works. So with that, any questions for me? Thank you, guys.
It's the oldest guy gets to go last here, so. Again, I'll echo, first of all, to thank Darren and Tim, because we do have great partnerships, and we love working with all our educational partners here in Alva. Real quick, Dr. James Bell, just introduce him, our academic VP. Ms. Kelsey Martin is our University Relations and our Marketing Director. Ms. Sadie Beer is in the back also, she's our Controller. So we also started off with a great start for the week. We've had a lot of activities at night. We call our Howdy Week, and we were really excited this year that great attendance, not only from our students, but our faculty and our staff. It's just a great start. It's always great to see the start of school and just how the community kind of changes when that happens. Couple things, updates. One, if you didn't see, we had a very successful accreditation visit, and that was in the paper, I think, this summer, but our Division of Business was nationally accredited again for the next 10 years. Right now, the university is going through our 10-year accreditation visit through HLC, so we have to have all our information locked in by December, and we'll have a visit early next year, and we're in really good shape on that. I appreciate Dr. Bell and really a lot of our folks that have kind of worked on that whole process, because it's definitely an ongoing, each year we have to keep up with that. A lot of activities fixing to start. We have we'll have a inter-squad scrimmage with our football team this Saturday night. Our soccer team has an exhibition against southwestern Kansas, and then they both open up their seasons on August 31st, a Thursday night. We'll be at home in football against Arkansas Monticello, and I believe we're on the road. Soccer is at Fort Hays, and then volleyball will start their season September 1st in a tournament in Joplin, I believe. So we look forward to all that. And of course, we'll have all kinds of vocal band and plays and all that kind of stuff going on as well. Tim talked about it, and Darren, we had a little, it was kind of interesting. Our first 2 days are actually Friday, the day before school started. We had a student bump into a fire alarm in one of the buildings. So we had a good fire drill that time, and things went well. And then again, Monday, our first day of school, where we had a lockdown just for a short while. Our faculty and staff and our students really did a good job. We were really happy with how things went, being a chaotic first day experience. Only just a few students didn't check their messaging, but we quickly got them to where they were supposed to go. And our chief of police and our local law enforcement did a great job, and we appreciate all the work they did and made sure our buildings and our parking lots were clear, and we got back to work and finished out with a great day. So we are still doing a few construction projects. We're trying to improve our mall area, so we'll still have some concrete being poured. We've extended, if you ever come up and see our stamped concrete, we extended that out a little bit. That project's finished. And then we hope to start our outdoor classroom hopefully really soon. It should be done this semester. But so we're looking forward to it. We'd love to have all of you up on campus. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. That's how we like it. Thank you. And thank you for allowing us to talk to you today.
Yes, thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you, Mr. Argo and Mr. Slater and Dr. Hannaford. Thank you guys so much for giving us an update. I saw that Peyton with, or what?
James Roberts, sleep dog 3320.
Just before you turn everybody loose.
Okay, good. I'll give you one. Peyton, do you have anything else to say?
I'm Wesley with
Oh,
Congressman
you're
Lucas. Yeah, it's
Wesley.
okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm so
No, it's okay. Yeah, I'm Wesley with Congressman Lucas's office. Peyton is with
I know
Senator
that.
Langford.
I
And
know
so,
that. That
yeah.
was
No, we cover the same area, and so it's easy to get mixed up. But yeah, I'm with Congressman Lucas, and Good to be here. No, I don't really have anything to add, except you might have seen that Congressman Lucas was injured about 2 weeks ago on the farm, and he is doing well. He had successful surgery, but he is at home recovering, so unfortunately we had to cancel pretty much all of our in-person events for him for the remainder of this August recess. But he's bound and determined to be on a plane and back in D.C. before voting starts middle of September, because it is a Farm Bill year, and so that is his #1 priority, is to get that taken care of. So you can rest assured that he's working hard for you, and he'll be back in action. So thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course.
Does anybody else have any updates they'd like to share?
Bank it for the Cherokee Strip Museum, so stop by any of your local banks and donate, and they'll match a portion of that. And then on the Outstate Bank side, I want to just, if you have elderly friends or loved ones, please talk to them about some of the fraud that's out there online. We're seeing a lot of check fraud at the bank, so those are good-looking checks or cashier's checks that come through that people may not know what they're from or may think they know where it's from, and they'll cash it, and it'll come back, and then they'll have to eat it because it's not a good check. So just talk to your friends and loved ones about always asking their bank if they've got any questions.
I just want to give everybody an update on, I know that probably we haven't had a lot of information out publicly regarding the swimming pool project, but that doesn't mean that there hasn't been quite a bit of work going on behind the scenes, and I want to, got a good enough group here, I want to give an update. We've raised roughly $3.4 million of the $5 million that we expect to spend. We anticipate getting another $500,000 grant though before, you know, all of that is said and done. But between a couple local foundations and some generous individuals, we've raised quite a bit of money. We did get word this week or last week, that the governor signed our Land and Water Conservation Fund grant. That was $500,000. We haven't gotten the paperwork yet, but we're hoping that we actually got word from Roland Peterson, so we're hoping that nobody lied to Roland when he told us what was going on. I always get a little bit anxious reporting things like that without having the document in hand, but I feel like Senator Peterson is probably a pretty good source of information for us. So we're looking forward to getting that in hand, and we will be probably not, we've got a city council meeting on Monday, but it probably won't be this Monday, but we will be having a meeting to take action on funding that gap between what the project's going to cost and what we've raised so far. We feel like we will get more donations and grants for our project, but we also feel like we've got to put a shovel in the ground and get to work. We've had a great outpouring of support from our trades and contractor community here locally. A lot of people are saying, make sure your bidders know that I'm available to work, I'll donate my labor, or some people are saying you get my materials at cost, or, you know, all of those things like that are going to help us get that price down to where it's affordable for our community and not terribly burdensome on the taxpayers. So we've got a lot of things coming up and getting ready to come out here in the next month or so. We will probably be out for bid within 4 to 6 weeks. So looking for contractors to get their bids in on our project, and so there've been a couple inquiries I've seen or heard about. People are asking about our status as a historic site on the historic registry. Our project is going to be approved by the Historic Preservation Office, so it's not that we can do our project. I know that there's probably some. I don't know that there's a lot of misinformation out there, but I know that there's some, and it's frequent and maybe a little bit loud. But we have been working with the State Historic Preservation Office. The poster that you've seen around town with the pool, it's not going to look exactly like that. Of course, those have been out for a year, and we've been working on the design during this whole time. So we're probably by next week going to have some new posters out showing people what the pool is probably going to look like. We're 95% done with plans, so it's more than likely going to look like what we put out next week, and so yeah, there's a lot going on with the pool right now. We're looking forward to being able to like I said, put a shovel in the ground, tear some concrete up, and get going. So, anybody have any questions on that? You guys hear anything that needs to be addressed? Well, spread the word. We still needed some more donations too. So.
Go ahead.
The American Legion will sponsor a flag retirement ceremony on September the 11th at dusk at the South Pavilion in Hatfield Park. So bring your tattered and torn flags and we will retire them for you along with the Boy Scouts.
Okay, and in Mural Society, mark your calendars for September 28th, 29th, and 30th. We'll have the Mural Fest. We'll have 3 new murals going up. It's during the high school homecoming. Normally we do it during the Parents' Day, but we're doing that with the car show, so that was just going to be way too much stuff on one weekend. And if you'll notice, it's going to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday instead of a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll still have the 5K, hopefully get some food trucks and some activities again going on downtown. So that's CLN.
Anybody else? Well, thank you guys for coming.